If you're wondering how many sheep should I have in Manor Lord, how can I become rich with the sheep, and how many sheep farms should I have with how many families assigned per farm? This and even more questions will be answered in this video on Manor Lord. Follow through until the end. As usual, if you enjoy my videos, please like, share and subscribe for more. This is the best way to support my channel. So question number one, what can I do with the sheep in Manor Lord? First of all, I have produced a video on the sheep breeding and the link is in the description, and that basically tells you that you can have at most 30 sheep in your city to have maximum breeding. If you have more than 30 sheep, the number of the lamb that you have per year will not increase. This is more question or answer in this video. However, what can you do with the sheep? So one of the things that you can do with the sheep is to harvest the wool, and basically the wool will be used in the tannery to produce yarn, but the yarn we deal in another video. So the question number two is how many sheep is it optimal to have to produce enough wool to get rich out of it? And the answer is yeah, you can have more than 30 sheep. So for many other applications, 30 sheep will be the maximum number that you should have. But for the wool, you can have as many sheep as you want. And let's break down into number for you to become the king of wool. As usual, before doing any experiment, you need to show the settings, the method. My settings in this case are the sheep farm here, because you need the sheep farm to collect the wool. And then you can have the pasture, as many pasture as you want, and I have different amount of sheep. Then you need to have a close by storehouse, and eventually the weaver. And why is that? Is because as you can see, the weaver go and collect your wool. This is a weaver woman transporting wool, and basically they transport one wool per person, so a family can transport 3 wool at the time. And if sometimes if you produce really a lot of wool accumulate in the sheep farm, then you need a large storehouse that come and pick up your wool, and they can come as a single person, so they still pick up one wool, or they can come with a cart and they can pick up to 5 wool. At least is what I can see they can maximally pick. And this is very important because in order for the experiment to be successful, the wool should not accumulate in the sheep farm. So it needs to pick up fast because they produce it fast, and the more sheep you have, the more wool they produce. So another question to answer is then how many people should I have in the sheep farm in order for that to be efficient, and how many sheep should I have in the sheep farm? So first of all, I tried with 30 sheep. In the previous video, we said that 30 sheep was the maximum number to have an efficient lamb breeding. So let's try 30 with 1, 2, or 3 families in one sheep farm. As you can see from the number, they pick up roughly 1 wool per sheep per month. And basically, they don't pick up in the winter month, especially January and February. They never pick up wool in those months. December, it depends. It seems that if you plop the farm in November and you assign the family in November, they kind of start to pick up the wool in November, and then they end up finishing in December. But from the second year in December, there will be no wool. So I would say that in December, January, and February, no wool. They also never use the lamb, it's just the sheep that they fish from. As you can see, the numbers are inefficient because they don't really pick up one wool per sheep per month. And the reason for that is that they also need to pick up resources, for example, food from the market. And if you see what they spend the time at, they basically spend it at the transportation and also waiting and also to the extension. So it's important, first of all, that they don't have extensions in their baggage plot. I cancel it because basically the families that are assigned to the sheep farm are those here. However, despite they don't have any extension, as you can see, there is no extension. They still spend time on it, and they still need to go and fetch food, fetch water for their house, fetch fuel from their houses. So it's not enough to have one person in the sheep farm for 30 sheep. Now, two-person in the sheep farm with 30 sheep. Two-person, it goes much better. As you can see, I plop it in February, the first March, I don't know, the first month, I don't know why it's higher than the number of the sheep. Maybe they recall that they purchased less sheep the year before, I don't know. But then it's 30 every month until December, and as you can see this time I didn't plop it in November, but I plop it in February. So December is 0, January is 0, February is 0. So two families per farm is efficient enough when you have 30 sheep. So if you on among the other thing use the sheep for meat or use the sheep to sell the sheep, and then you want to keep it as efficient as possible and you want only 30 sheep, then you need one sheep farm with two people in the sheep farm, and that's it. I also tested three family in the sheep farm just for the sake of it, and as you can see I tested it only few months. It's still 30 wool per month, so it does not increase. So again, two family, one sheep farm. However, what about if you want to be the king of wool and you want to produce up to 1000 wool per year? Well, in that case, you need 100 sheep at least. And basically, with 100 sheep, you can guess that you need max capacity for a sheep farm. So I put 3 person in one sheep farm. If you do that, you can see the number, and you can see that you get quite close to the number of the wool per month that you are supposed to collect. Few months is very efficient, but then you have the same problem when you have one family for 30 sheep. These people need to go and fetch resources, and then in those months the number of the wool that you collect is lower. So one sheep farm for 100 sheep is not enough. So I plop two sheep farm, and since I was close enough to the number I was supposed to have, I put two employee, two families per sheep farm, and in that case, as you can see, the number make much more sense and you get extremely close to 1000 wool per month. The only 2 months where they were not performing correctly is when in March there was a war, and then basically they did not produce almost anything. And basically towards the end of the year in October, when one of the sheep farm had the pantry full because I had to upgrade the warehouse, and in that case they didn't perform so well. On the other hand, the other farm kicked in, but not enough to have the full 100 sheep collected. Some month there was a little bit more than 100, and some month a little less than 100, but overall is roughly one wool per month per sheep. And with this, I hope I showed you how to produce roughly 1000 wool per year and how to become the king of wool and to get tons of money. Uh, Producing wool is not enough. Of course, the wool has other function, and I will show you in the next video, so stay tuned. And if you enjoy my video, drop a like, share, subscribe for more. That's the best way to help my channel grow and for me to produce more video. And with this, I hope you have a great day and I see you soon. Bye guys.